Hey everyone, Mike Wolf here with Entrepreneurs Making a Difference, and today I'm really excited because we have a friend of mine, Craig Duswalt, who I get to interview, and he has the most bizarre and amazing career. He just released a book called Welcome to My Jungle, which is a story of his. He used to be the personal manager for Axl Rose. There's his book right now. Say something and I'll show this. I'll put you on the screen here, Craig.
Something.
Yes, there we go. So Welcome to My Jungle, and it's a story of him and the escapades of what happens when you hang around with a band like Guns N' Roses and Axl Rose. So that just got released. He was also the personal assistant to Air Supply. He now runs a Rockstar Bootcamp, which I've had the privilege of going to several times. It's amazing. And he's also an award-winning copywriter. He's got the most amazing, like I said, it almost sounds like a bunch of random things put together. So I'm going to have to find out how this all came about. So welcome, Craig. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wolf. How are you, sir?
I am great, and it's good to have you here. So probably what my daughter wants to know, because she's read the book, she wants to know, how did you get to tour around with Axl Rose? First of all, how did that all start? How did you get into that?
Oh my gosh, it's a really long story which will take our whole time up, but I'll give you the short version. So I toured with Air Supply first as the band's personal assistant. I got that job. I was working at Westbury Music Fair in Long Island, New York. It's a little theater, just graduated college. Got a job working there. I worked there for 2 weeks. Air Supply comes in and does a show on a Friday and Saturday night. They see me working, love the way I worked, and to make a really long story short, they said, would you like to go on the road with us? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. And what do I have to do? Basically, you have to be the band's assistant. Just take care of the band on the road. And the next day, they sent a limousine to my house that took me to John F. Kennedy Airport, got on a plane, and toured with Air Supply for 6 years. The security guard for Air Supply at the time, during one or two of the years, was Doug Goldstein. And Doug Goldstein somehow, at the end of an Air Supply tour, became the manager of Guns N' Roses. So Guns N' Roses had another manager when they were playing small clubs on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. This guy Doug takes over for the guy that had to go away and take care of another band. And while he took over for this other manager, Axl and him hit it off, and he got the job as manager. They fired the other manager, hired Doug. He became manager of Guns N' Roses, and he calls me up one day and he says, are you ready to go back on the road? I'm like, what do I have to do? And he goes, you basically have to babysit Axl Rose. And I'm like, isn't that the guy that's like gets in trouble a lot? And Doug's like, yes, maybe, but you're going to fix that. And so I went on the road with them from, I think it was 90 to 94, 91 to 94. And yeah, that's basically how it happened. I knew somebody through touring with Air Supply, but the Air Supply gig was the more interesting story. They just plucked me out of a theater in Long Island, New York, and it changed my life.
Well, that's very bizarre, and it's just an amazing story. When I first heard that, it almost sounds kind of surreal. But,
I know.
But sometimes reality is stranger than fiction, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then you're also, I mean, you've been on soap operas, right? You're on what, The Guiding Light or something? Is that the one?
That's funny. No, it's so funny. I mentioned that once at my seminars. I was on General Hospital for like a year. General Hospital, but it was a small little part. I was a waiter in Duke's Club, and I consistently worked for a year, which was great.
Well, that's cool. And now your character still might come back to life, so we never know. You might be back on there again.
I'm in jail on the show.
You're in jail, okay.
Well, who knows?
Maybe you'll get out for good behavior. We'll see what happens.
I'm working on it.
Anyway, that's hilarious. So these days, your big thing is obviously you have the Rockstar Bootcamp. It's called How to Achieve Rockstar Status in Your Industry. And it's just a really great event that takes place in Los Angeles. Like I said, I've been to it a couple of times myself. I'm looking forward to the next one. So what inspired you to create that?
So I toured with Air Supply for a while, and Guns N' Roses for a while, and then I got back home, and I didn't want to travel anymore. I was just so sick of traveling. I just wanted to be normal again. I had been on the road with these guys, and we're all treated like royalty, even though you're not even in the band. And I just wanted to be normal again. So I got a job working at an advertising agency, and then I went from like copywriter to senior copywriter to creative director within like a year. And so then I quit that job and I opened up my own advertising agency. But then the internet was coming along, and I'm saying to myself, I did a lot of print advertising. and I saw the writing on the wall that print advertising was going to go away, and I wanted to get into some sort of internet marketing thing. My wife in 2006 was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, which made us stop everything we were doing, and we said, all right, we have to focus now on doing one thing, because I wasn't sure that she was going to make it, and she's fine now. She's in remission. She's had it cured for like 7 years now, so she's good. But I found myself at that time, and I said, I really got to focus on one thing that I really love. And I went to an event on how to become a speaker at an event. I went there by mistake and said, you know what? I think I can do this speaking thing. And so at 46 years old, I changed everything. I stopped. I was the general manager for a minor league baseball team. I owned my own advertising agency. My wife and I owned a modeling agency together. I had a theater in Long Island, in Santa Clarita, California, a live theater. I was married with 3 kids. I was coaching their teams. I was going crazy. I had doing too many things and not doing any of them very, very well, just doing good in everything. And I went to this seminar. I quit everything, and I just focused on one thing, Rockstar marketing. And I became a speaker and a coach, and I write books on marketing. I'm a marketing expert, and I do only marketing. And so every March and September, I put on a large boot camp. It's called the Rockstar Marketing Bootcamp, How to Achieve Rockstar Status in Your Industry. And we get between 400 and 500 entrepreneurs flying from all over the world. Mike's been there twice, at least twice, I think. And he's in the Rockstar Mastermind program now, which is this big thing that we have a community of great rock stars, rockstar business leaders, and it's just grown and grown and grown. And the next one's in September, and we expect to have over 500 people because of the book.
Exactly. Well, that's definitely not going to hurt. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt.
It's a great book. There's some amazing stories.
It's really interesting. I wrote this book. It's not a business book. I write marketing books, but I wrote that book for a specific reason: to get radio interviews, to get on TV, to get on the New York Times bestseller list. It's coming out May 13, and already I've had, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just released, like I had some pre-copies at the last boot camp, and that's how your daughter got a copy. Mm-hmm. So we just released that it's coming out May 13th in the media, and I've gotten 6 interviews in the last, we just 2 days ago, or no, yeah, yesterday, released it, and I have 6 interviews lined up already for people wanting to know about the book. So the good thing is I'm going to talk about the book, but I'm really going to be promoting my Rockstar Marketing Bootcamp.
Well, that's cool. I think the really cool thing, though, is that you got 6 interviews, but I got you first. So that's
you are first, my friend.
There you go. So this is a first. That's what we're here for. We do things first.
That's right.
So Craig, who would you say has been the biggest influence on your career?
Well, I've had so many different careers.
That's true.
So this new career, which should be the last one, because I really enjoy speaking and I love marketing. I do love that. And I've had a lot, and I've had numerous people help me with this. But the one that I started with was James Malinchak. He's the big money speaker. I went to his seminar totally by mistake. I was meeting a friend of mine for lunch, and I ended up going to this seminar and staying there for 4 days. And I stayed, the story goes, and this is true, I stayed in the same outfit for 4 days because I wasn't planning on staying at the seminar, but I didn't go home. So I went for lunch, ended up staying 4 days at this seminar, became a speaker. And he helped me through, like, I knew marketing already, and he's a marketing guy for speakers, but I didn't know the speaker world at all. So he helped me navigate through this new world that I'm involved in right now. And so he was the first one that really showed me the way of how to become a speaker. And it's my sister's husband, William, is also a big influence in my life. He is a multi-millionaire ex-NFL football player, but he is a very wise man. He's older, married he's like, I think 19 years older than my sister, but very wise man, still looks very young for his age. We all aspire to be that, but very spiritual and very he he makes things more real for me, calms me down. I'm very hyper. I want to do this. I want to do this. He brings me back down to earth.
Never. You hyper? I don't believe that.
No.
Squirrel.
Not
Just had to put that out there.
Squirrel.
There you go. So yeah, I agree though. James Malinchak, he is an amazing speaker and marketer, and he does have some great courses too. But we're here to talk about you, so we won't talk about James right now. So what about for if somebody who's listening, entrepreneur might be listening right now, and they're just starting up a business? Where would you recommend? Obviously, go to your boot camp for marketing advice. Where else would you recommend? What are some good ways for people to get some good marketing tips to start off with?
Well, it's all about, the problem in this world right now is the internet. I mean, it's a great thing. We love it, and we're doing this on the internet, and I do social networking, and I do all that stuff. But the problem is so many people think marketing is just getting a Facebook page and a LinkedIn page and a like page and a YouTube channel, which you need all those things for sure, but you got to get out there. So I teach people how to not become a professional speaker, but to actually go out and meet people and do seminars. Whether you're doing your own seminar or whether you're going to be a guest speaker in other seminars or a guest speaker at networking events or associations, just getting out there and seeing people and interacting with live people instead of just doing everything on the internet. Because it's so easy for us to just sit here and try to email people and do all the internet marketing stuff, which is very valuable. You need to do that as well. But people are getting lazy, I think, now, where they're not going to things. So I go to seminars all the time. I'm blessed that I'm probably speaking at most of the seminars that I go to, so I get to kill two birds with one stone. But even if you're not speaking there, you got to show up and you got to join one or two programs. So you need to be part of a community in the area that you want to get into. So I have a marketing community, a Rockstar Mastermind. And if people want to get into some sort of entrepreneurial business, they join my community, and we have 130 people in the community, and we bounce ideas off of each other. I did that as well. I went to a speaker community, and I went to an internet marketing community, and found out all this information. And I gathered for the first 2 and 3 years all this information, so that I can have the information in my arsenal. So when I went out there and spoke about my thing, I would know more things that are happening in the world. So you got to be part of a community. You got to get out there. You got to go to events. You have to go to networking events. You got to go to associations. Join these things. Become part of it. Volunteer. Big one is volunteer at charity events. I tell people to get out there and do the registration, because you get to know everybody as they're coming in. So hi, Don. It's good to meet you. Because you check his name off of the list. Like Don Fleming is a guy that owns Valencia Acura in Santa Clarita, California. He goes to all the networking events, and I met him because I was at registration one day, and I would say, hey, Don, my name is Craig Duswalt. I own Green Room Design and Advertising, and we became good friends because I met him at a registration at a charity event. So a lot of things like that, just getting out there, seeing people.
Absolutely. Yeah. You never know who you're going to meet when you do that, and you never know who they know, so you never know what it's going to lead to. So it's always one of my big things. I love to network. So I have a question for you. I mean, I've seen you on stage numerous times. You make it look very, very easy. You're very natural up there, and you seem very comfortable. What was it like the first time you spoke?
So I spoke a lot as a creative director for an ad agency for smaller audiences, because I would be pitching our ideas. So I did little things in front of 10 to 15 people. And that made me more nervous than what I do now, because small audiences make me very, very nervous. But I'll just talk about when I started as a speaker. So when I first started as a speaker, my first event was a 4-hour event where, I was America's shoestring budget coach, and I was teaching people how to save a ton of money on marketing and advertising. And it was a 4-hour seminar, and I wore a suit and tie because that's what I thought speakers did. And I was very stiff on stage, and I was very nervous. And I'm praying backstage, please God, please let me remember what to say and all these things. And I did, and I said lots of uhs and ums, and just going through it and just trying to get by, just trying to finish the first one. So I finished that 4-hour seminar, And I changed everything because I didn't feel comfortable in my skin wearing a suit and tie. That wasn't me. I was trying to be somebody else. So I changed everything. I changed everything to Rockstar marketing because I said, you know what? I'm not the shoestring budget guy. I thought that was a great idea because I could save people money. But I have this background in music. I'm Rockstar. It's got to be something Rockstar. So I changed the brand, changed my look, and the next seminar I went on stage, and I threw T-shirts out in the beginning of the thing. And you know, a big key is doing something where you don't have to speak when you get on stage. Because I still get nervous to this day before I go out for the first minute or two. You get nervous. But what do I do, Mike, when I get on stage? I get on stage to loud music. I throw hundreds of T-shirts out to the audience. So everyone already likes me before I've even said a word because I'm giving them free gifts. So, and now I'm getting comfortable on stage because I haven't said anything. And everyone's happy because they're getting free gifts. So now I just go into my speech, and now it's very easy because everyone already likes me because I've given them free stuff. So I just took that thing where I get nervous before I get on. I have an opening, which I'm very comfortable with, where I don't have to say anything, but it also helps me relax in front of the audience. So I always tell speakers, come up with an opening instead of just walking on stage, saying thank you to whoever introduces you and say, so my name is Craig Duswalt, and going right into it, do something different to get yourself comfortable and to make the audience like you because you've either given them something or just do something different, you know.
Yeah, well, it also builds up, I mean, a lot of enthusiasm and gets the room all excited and warms them up, and it just creates really good energy, so it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You find, I know your parents come to your events quite often. Does that make you nervous? If my parents came to my events, I think I'd be terrified.
You know, it's really funny. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But I find myself thinking, like, oh, I shouldn't say that. You know? I toured with Guns N' Roses, so there's some other stories that I could be telling.
I can imagine.
My mom and dad are there. So, but it ends up, it's great. I love the whole family thing. My wife and my kids come, my mom and dad come, and it's become this family thing. And everyone like you in the Rockstar Mastermind, I feel like is part of my family. You know, it's one big. I really like it as a family now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of family, your son Tyler, he has that book about blogging. How old is he? How old was he when he wrote that book?
He was 10 years old when he wrote it, and at the time when he wrote the book, he had a club. It was a Disney game called Club Penguin. So he was blogging about how to cheat on Club Penguin, and not really cheat, but where the secret doors were, the secret exits, the secret passageways. So he would just blog about it, and he got up to 100,000 subscribers on his blog. So my wife and I look at each other like, how the heck is this kid getting 100,000? I want 100,000 on my blog. So my wife went in there and said, you need to write a book, Tyler, and give people the 25 things they can do to help get people to look at their blog. And so he did it at 10 years old. He's 14 now. He's switching everything to YouTube now. So now he's doing a YouTube channel, and he's teaching people how to build computers, how to he does YouTube channels for people. He designs them. He's 14, but he wrote the book at 10. But he's phasing out the whole blogging thing. But we have about, I don't know, 500 books left. We bought like 4,000 books. So he's sold like 3,500 books, which is hopefully paying for a lot of his college education. You know.
No kidding. No kidding.
Really good.
Gives me a kick in the butt because I still haven't got my book out there, and I'm seeing all these kids writing books, and it's like, one of these days, has he ever considered a career in ghostwriting? Because I might hire him.
No, he doesn't like writing.
Oh, he doesn't like writing. Okay.
No, he writes so much in English at school that he doesn't want to write. That's why he's doing the YouTube videos.
Oh, hey, well that makes sense, and that's how people are consuming information these days anyway. So. Yeah. Yeah. Google likes you a lot better when you do that too, so that's important.
That's right. Google likes videos. Exactly.
Exactly. So, as you know, this show is called Making a Difference, and so what's one of the things that you would do or want to do or have been doing to make a difference? What's one of the things that really lights you up?
I have this little passion, which is in the last page of my book. Well, one of the last pages. It's called the Band Together Foundation. So I have this thing that I'm starting. It's just starting right now. And Band Together Foundation, we're building the website right now. We're doing all these things. It's in my book, so I got to get it finished by May 13th. And it's a foundation for, it's like Live Aid, And it's like, I mean, I have grandiose ideas because I know a lot of people. I'm pretty successful in what I'm doing now, so I want to do something huge. I want to make a difference. So Band Together Foundation is a concert, a live concert once a year, where we get we get bands together that have broken up in the past. And obviously the impetus of this was Guns N' Roses. They broke up, and so my wish is to get them back together, even if it's just one concert. So it's called Band Together Foundation, where we do one concert where bands that have broken up in the past get together for one day. They put aside their differences and they play a concert, and then we do it for charities, but it's based on world peace. And I know it's grandiose, I understand that, but it's, if we could put our differences aside for one day, maybe the world can stop fighting for one day. You know, so that's the big idea of it all. But the smaller idea is to do concerts for bands getting back together, one-day concerts for charities, basically charity work.
Wow, I love that. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, and that's why I wrote the Guns N' Roses book as well, because everyone knows me as the Rockstar marketing guy, but unless you've been to my Rockstar Bootcamp, a lot of people don't know that I toured with Guns N' Roses, I was Axl Rose's guy, and all that stuff, so I wanted to put that out there so I can piggyback, so I can launch my Band Together Foundation. That was really why I wrote the book.
Well, that's fantastic. And speaking of Guns N' Roses, how do they take to your book? What do they think of it?
Well, here's the deal. It is not a tell-all book, and this is the interview that I'm having, like I will start having all the time now. It's not a tell-all book. It's not. I'm not telling secrets about Axl Rose and Slash and Duff. There's no secrets out there. It's funny and interesting stories that happened on the road with Guns N' Roses. It's just funny stuff that happened, and some stuff you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys went through that. That's all it is. So Slash, Duff, Matt, Gilby, Dizzy, all those guys are totally fine. About 2 months ago when Axl found out this was happening, because I emailed him and said, would you like to read it before I go to print, and he got mad at me. He said, that's it, we're enemies, I don't want to talk to you again, and da-da-da. So I found out, though, through a friend of a friend, that Axl was concerned that I was doing a tell-all book, and that I was sharing these 3 things that he just didn't want to share, that I know. And not 3 specific things, it's 3 parts of his life. And so I didn't share that. And he knows that I haven't shared that, so I think he's more comfortable now. But he doesn't like that people make money off the Guns N' Roses name. So he doesn't even like that I'm doing Rockstar marketing, even though it has nothing to do with Guns N' Roses. But, you know, because I use Rockstar, he feels that, you know, it has something to do with Guns N' Roses, but it doesn't. I mean, it's just thinking outside the box marketing. I just called it that because I toured with bands. So I think he's fine now, and he'll be fine when he reads the book, because it's nothing. It's just funny stuff. And I even tell people, if you're looking for dirt on Axl, Slash, Duff, and those guys, don't buy my book, because it's not there. It's just funny stuff that happened.
Yeah, well, it is a really funny book, and there's a lot of great stories in there, and stories of U2 and a whole bunch of other bands, and just some really great stories. My daughter absolutely loves the book, and I recommend it to anybody, especially if you love Guns N' Roses like my daughter did and does. So anyway, we've got to wrap this up here, but how can people get a hold of you? If they want to come to your boot camp, how do they get a hold of you? If they want to get your book, how do they get that?
So there's on May 13th, the book is being released. Welcome to My Jungle. It's being released on Amazon.com. You could actually buy it now on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, but it's being released nationwide in bookstores on May 13th. So I'm hoping everyone just buys the book the first week, because I want to get on the New York Times bestseller list. So that's the goal. Everyone buy the book May 13th or the first week of the release. Or you could go to welcometomyjunglebook.com. You could go to CraigDuswalt.com, which is everything about me. And then to sign up for the Rockstar Marketing Bootcamp in September, it's $297 per person. It is a very early bird special right now, because we're like 5 months away from the seminar, from the bootcamp. So it's $297 for 3 days, and that's at Rockstar rockstarmarketingbootcamp.com. rockstarmarketingbootcamp.com or craigduswalt.com to find out more about who I am and about the whole Rockstar thing.
Well, great, thanks. And I really appreciate you coming on here today and sharing with us. And it was a pleasure interviewing you, and I'd love to do it again sometime in the future.
Let's do it again in 10 minutes.
Hey, there you go. I'm in. And best of luck with the official release of your book, and I'm sure it will make it to #1. And I look forward to seeing you, I guess, in a couple of weeks. I'll be at your mastermind.
No, I'm going to see you next week.
Is it next week already? Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to see you in 8 days, Michael.
8 days. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
All right. Thanks so much, Craig. We'll see you soon.
See you soon, bud.
Take care.
Bye.